everyone, and thanks for coming to Affiliate Experience Fast Food or Fine Dining. We've got a lot of information to share with you today, so let's go ahead and get started. First, I'd like to introduce you to our panel. So to my left is Mike Allen, and Mike's been involved in affiliate marketing since 1999 and actually is an Affiliate Summit Pinnacle Award winner as Affiliate of the Year. In addition to his activities as an affiliate, he's also manages several great programs through his company, which is called Businesswright Consulting. Then to my right is John Labruto, and John is the Director of Affiliate Solutions and Partnerships at Liquid Web. He's also managed numerous successful affiliate programs over the past 7 years and is known especially for keeping things fresh and trying to think outside the box. So let's go ahead and, my name is Jeannine Crooks, and I'm the Client Services Manager for awin.com. We're the largest affiliate network in the world with exclusive clients like Etsy and StubHub and HP and edX.org, since they're with us here in the audience today. And I've been involved in affiliate marketing since 1999 as well. So put us all together, there's way too many years of experience, but that pays off when we're trying to share some of our knowledge. Okay, so let's get started. And by the way, these slides are all they're all available through Affiliate Summit right now. And then if you wanted to get a copy of them from us instead, you can just give us your business card at the end. We'll be happy to email them to you as well. Okay, so I can never say his last name. Leo, our friend Leo, said, I go to a fast food chain if I want a quick meal, but I go to a restaurant if I want fine dining. There is a distinct difference between fast food and fine dining. Though both locations serve food, fast food places their emphasis on the basics. So uniformity, inexpensive in both food and service, and atmosphere, and also requiring only the lowest of skills to be able to perform in there. If you're looking at fine dining, on the other hand, it's much more complex. It requires a chef and a staff to produce the ultimate product, and it provides a much more unique and satisfying result. The same applies to the affiliate world. A fast food affiliate usually doesn't provide any additional value to customers searching for the product or service. You know, they just show up there. I mean, we've all seen banner farms. Think of a banner farm in a lot of ways as like fast food. The sites show a minimum amount of customization, usually are a set it and forget it kind of approach. Now, when you look at somebody, though, that we would consider fine dining, usually there's a great deal of customization, both in appearance and in the amount of information that's available to the consumer to help them make their purchase decision. So like a specialized restaurant, they tend to center on a specific need for their site visitors, offering information on the topic and a solution to whatever the issue is.
And it's kind of funny. This morning, Mike and I were talking and for breakfast, and you always find different things in these presentations as you unpeel the onion, you know, as you're talking through things. Now, Mike's taking things from a publisher's perspective. I'm taking things from an advertiser's perspective. And it works both ways on the fine dining and the fast food perspective. So from a publisher's perspective to the customer, the smaller publishers are working one-on-one with the customers to make the sale. Whereas the larger publishers like a Shop at Home, it's more of a very, very organized fast food kind of scenario. But it's the opposite for the advertiser. The advertiser's relationship with the publisher, the smaller publishers are the fast food because things are very organized and very set up in a way that is automated, whereas it's a more one-on-one experience with the larger publishers. So throughout this, I just wanted to make that clarification because some of my perspective is the exact opposite as the publisher's perspective with the actual customer. So
I know it's goes both ways.
Goes both ways, exactly.
In a lot of ways. But the good news is the industry has room for both types of affiliates. But if you create a memorable experience for people, chances are you'll end up with much greater success than you ever would if you just kept things as a fast food, minimal effort expended experience. So it's time to up your game. We're going to share 17 tips to take you from being a fast food cook into a master chef. So get ready. We've got a whole lot of emphasis on our theme today. Way too many puns, but that's half the fun, right? Especially on a Tuesday morning when a lot of people partied last night. So first off, let's take a look at what the analogies are between fast food and affiliate marketing. For starters, think of your content like food. It's what site visitors consume. So ask yourself, are you serving good food that people really want to consume? Is it trustworthy? You know what I mean by restaurants and whether or not you're going to trust them. Or is it just something that's going to fill their time, just like, lots of carbs in most restaurants? What type of experience are your users having? Are you meeting their needs? Think about your site as the staff for your restaurant. So marketing is the host or the hostess, the chef is responsible for site design, the cooks create the product, and so on. So is everyone doing their best on their job to make it a wonderful experience for the consumer? Think about that, because all of these aspects are part of it and what makes you different than just kind of those flat-out template kind of sites. And I promise you'll have the slides later, so we're happy to do it, so don't make yourself crazy on here trying to write everything down. Like a restaurant, your site has an atmosphere reflected in the design. So why do people go to your restaurant? Is it because they don't know how to cook what it is that they're making? Are they too busy to do it themselves? Or is it something that they want to savor by experiencing it through your establishment? So when you're writing those reviews, they're vicariously living through you. They're trusting your opinion on it. So, for example, if you were a food critic and they read your review that said this particular restaurant was wonderful, they're going to want to go there. Same thing with your site. If other people are saying your site is wonderful or people are rating it high, the ultimate compliment, when you look on Google Analytics, how much time are people spending on a page on your site, or how much time are they spending on your site? That's their vote of confidence. That's how you're getting multiple stars on your site, is by doing things like that. And then finally, the site's attitude is the call to action. So which sign is it on your site? The one that says, we're not as bad as the one down the road, or we have the best food in town? Seriously, think, where would you like to eat? That's what matters the most. So here are the 17 tips that we want to give you, the 17 recipes to turn you into a gourmet with 5-star success. Tip number 1, your publisher profile.
Well, you can think of your publisher profile as kind of your menu. It's your call to action from your perspective as a publisher. So most of the affiliate networks allow you to upload your logo, upload a brief description of your site, upload the sites you have if you have multiple sites, and you use that space, keep it updated, use it to explain why you want to work with a particular advertiser. When I'm managing an affiliate program, that's what I see. The first thing I see when I look at your application, I like to be able to see, why do you want to join, why do you want to work in this area? What makes you interested? How can we be a good partnership? So take advantage of that space. It's your menu, to use the restaurant analogy.
And seriously, from a network perspective, that's one of the best things that we can see. And in a lot of networks, there's a way for a merchant to be able to search and try and find publishers to invite to their program by searching for keywords. So if your site merely says travel blog, that doesn't give them a lot to work with. But if you say a travel blog with emphasis on Portugal and on, South America or something like that, or if you're, a family site and you're talking about children, perhaps it's special needs children, perhaps it's having 3 boys that are under the age of 5, whatever it is, find different kinds of keywords that they might be looking for. Some of the keywords that you're using to emphasize your site as you're presenting it to consumers. Most of you have a USP. Use that, include that in there, because the more information you can give the merchant, the easier it's going to be for them to find you and work with you.
Yeah, give as much information as possible, and also go ahead and make sure you have the best contact information, yes. And then work that contact information. Have some sort of service level, 24 hours, 48 hours, and even put that into your profile, saying we'll respond within 24 hours, so people know. A lot of the publishers are smaller guys. Some of it's part-time, some of it's full-time, and it's in a corporation. So there'll be different levels of service. But I think from an advertiser or merchant's perspective, we know exactly how quickly we'll get contact, with the publisher. That's very helpful, and it'll help you out too, because it'll be quality information.
Absolutely. Tip number 2: affiliate links.
With affiliate links, there's no money to be made without them, so they're critical. But it's easy to overlook them when thinking this through from the different perspectives of the publisher, the advertiser. An advertiser needs to optimize the affiliate links, make sure they have the right kind, so you as a publisher can do something with them. Homepage links, deep links, banners. Thinking of banners, are they optimized for the web? I've seen some very large banners, you know, probably 4 megabytes. I think I had seen one, huge. That's even under the fast bandwidth of today, and this was a few years ago. That's think a mobile experience. It's terrible, and so you might have to do a little extra homework as a publisher to check the banner sizes, make sure they're optimized for the web, so they load quickly. A little tip for your sites in general: JPEG images, JPGs, they or sometimes JPEG, depending, but they're often the most efficient image size for photos, and PNGs are what you need. If you can do that, or a GIF, but PNGs have more quality in them. They're great for logos. If you need a transparent background on something, that's the format to use, so you don't have a white background on something. And you might even have to ask the affiliate manager for a logo with a transparent background. Often they're just stuck with a white background, and it looks really bad on the publisher sites. So reach out to the affiliate manager with those questions. There's some great tools if you need to optimize your images, or the affiliate images sometimes. You can go to Imagify, and you can open up an account. I think it's 25 megabytes a month. They'll process for free, and then if you need more, it's very affordable. But you upload your images, and then they process them and then make them web friendly, and you download them and you're good to go. If you use WordPress, there's an automated way to do it. It's really easy. So check your site also. Pingdom Tools, great way to look for a lot of problems, to see if you're mobile friendly and web optimized. So I suggest both of those options as publishers.
And also look into the advertiser's campaign or profile, because a lot of folks just take the online link or the default link, and that's to the home page. As you optimize, you may want to bring it into deeper links, into pages that are already established as ads or links within the network for that particular advertiser. So instead of necessarily bringing it to the home page, if your traffic is looking for a specific product or service and you have a deep link that's tracked in the program, use that. So dive in a little bit and take a look at what's offered, because it's easy to take the initial link, but it's also more beneficial for both parties sometimes to go into the deeper links.
Tip number 3 is favorite amongst all of us: commissions.
So commissions, I'm writing this from the perspective of the advertiser, so as a publisher you can understand what we're thinking through, and also some tips on trying to understand why commissions are the way they are. So on the first piece, think of a default commission like fast food. I know it's the opposite of kind of the theming we're having here from the publisher's experience with the customer, but the advertiser or merchant's experience with the publisher, it's more of a mass-produced product. It's something that is going to reward you generously, hopefully. There's an ROI for you and for the advertiser, so that everyone's making money. You're getting the most possible incentive for the space that you're using in your efforts. It's got to be competitive, it's got to be easy to understand, and it also has to be tantalizing, right? So there's got to be a sizzle there for the publishers to say, hey, I want to work with this advertiser, I'm going to make some money, it's a good product, and they have a good commission plan. But it's something that's laid out for a large number of people. We have about 5,000 affiliates, and I can honestly say I don't talk to all of them. I touch all of them in a sense with newsletters and commission updates and things like that, but it's a very fast food organized kind of scenario from my perspective, and I'm trying to do the best that we can in a default basis for everyone. You look at also, there's other things called dynamic commissions. Every niche has a different need. So if you're a loyalty rewards publisher, you may have a back end on your website that can only use like one variable. So it may be a percentage of the actual sale, or it may be a flat rate. You may not be able to handle all different levels of commissions for different product SKUs. So the advertiser needs to work with you, right? So what we do is we create special commissions for your particular vertical, your channel. Same thing with sub-networks, right? You have networks that have publishers that run on, particular programs. So you may be part of a publisher that's part of another network. So we try to commission higher for the sub-network, so this way the end publishers get the same commission as they would get if they had joined our program directly. There's also high volume or higher volume or potentially high volume publishers that are going to get a much higher rate than the default. I mean, that's just the way it is. Sometimes, if you're really slick, you can incorporate tiers into the default commission to try to reward some of the folks, that do aspire to have higher volumes. But sometimes you kind of look through how that particular publisher progresses and then offer them that higher non-published commission as they become available to actually utilize that or maximize that. The other piece of this is attribution settings. So if you think of yourself like the waitress or the waiter or the service person, who gets the tip? Right? Who's getting that commission? Are you splitting it with the other servers? Or are you getting it all? Does it go all to the house and then the house comes back? So there's a lot of different ways from an attribution perspective that you need to understand how the actual advertisers are paying you. So some have a last cookie in, some have a first cookie in. Some folks have very sophisticated media tools and reporting tools that know exactly every hit that a particular customer makes on all the different publishers or affiliates. So some of the advertisers split attribution, and a lot of the networks have these tools to do that for various reasons. You may split attribution if a PPC or SEM campaign is involved in that customer experience, or if a coupon is taken with a vanity code, but it was brought in at the last click from another particular affiliate. So there may be a split attribution. Understand exactly how you're getting paid and how that advertiser pays you. Most people will take last click, and most people will pay 100% attribution. That's sort of the default in the industry. But you got to look at the terms. But be aware of those kind of things.
All right. And tip number 4 is incentives.
So again, from the advertiser's perspective, how do we basically distribute incentives throughout the entire network? So you have boost campaigns and bonuses. Those are pretty famous, throughout most larger advertisers that'll come up with programs to enhance you to sell, right? So a boost campaign may be a percentage above the default that's sent out to the masses, like a fast food kind of scenario, where you have a limited amount of time and there's a percentage increase in commissions, and we're doing that to either reactivate or re-engage you or try to identify if dormant publishers are just dormant working with someone else or new. Maybe a recruitment tool, an overall recruitment tool. So that's something that, when you see a boost campaign come through on a particular advertiser you're working for, great opportunity to try to sell their service, because then you can identify conversion rates and understand the customer and the real value of the commission, how much are you really going to make on an average sale, and it's a little bit of a boost, so you actually make some extra money doing that. At the same time, boost campaigns are not necessarily used in a fine dining sense, because it's really more of, we're going to give everybody a little bit more. You have bonus structures. So bonus structures are more targeted. You may say, I'll give you a certain amount of money if you give me a certain amount of sales this month. So it may be volume oriented, or it may be product oriented. We're going to give you an extra amount of $100 if you sell this particular product in the month of August. And then just like the fine dining experience on the larger publishers that you may be working with, it may be completely focused on something that they sell and giving them specific incentive to sell a particular product or a particular level of volume. So you do see these things. That's why they're there. They're there to try to create some demand, right? And they're also there to change behavior in a way, right? Your behavior of, I want to work with this person versus I'm not working with this person. Contests are another way to do this, right? So it's like the Monopoly game at McDonald's, right? We have these contests. You got to do a certain amount of things, and you go ahead and get a reward or a gift card or a prize or something like that. They work similar to the bonus campaigns. It's got to be a simple program. So in a fast food environment, again, to the masses on the default group, you really have to make it simple. You know, you do X and then you have the opportunity to get X. It may not be everybody because it's a contest, but it's certainly something that is tangible and achievable, you know. Same thing with top partner events. Well, that's the funny thing about that is not only is it fine dining, but it's probably a fine dining event also, right? So you're taking your top performers and doing a one-to-one kind of relationship with them and network with them and reward them for their particular service. Particular performance. So that's a relationship building piece, and that's the best example of fine dining you can get in the affiliate channel.
Been known to happen, right?
Yeah, in all these things, it's interesting. I keep wanting to say, don't be afraid to ask.
Right.
If you have something to offer, you know, what can you do for this advertiser? Go ahead and ask them. If you pitch your idea, it's great to talk to that affiliate manager.
It is indeed. And actually, speaking as somebody who's been in that role many times, we love to hear from you.
We don't hear it enough,
We
actually.
We don't indeed.
Yeah,
Especially with great offers.
Yeah, you're in a vacuum. You know, you're sitting in, you know, I don't want to say ivory tower because none of us have that great of an experience, but you're sitting on your desk and you're trying to, you know, divine what the best way to move forward is. And, you know, when you have experience, you kind of know what people do want, you know, what the folks want, but, you know, feedback's the best because you get a large volume of feedback saying, hey, this will really push the needle. I'm more than happy to implement that, you know, as far as the program's concerned.
And sometimes we even have budget for those creative things.
Indeed. So one of the other things that is very popular and important for you to use as a tool, if it's appropriate to your site, is coupons.
So a couple of things to think about with coupons, right? Coupon tracking and attribution, suppression, things of that nature. Coupons are basically, you want to make sure you have the proper attribution and the proper tracking for coupons. So look at how the advertiser has them set up. A lot of the networks now have promo code technology, so you can get a promo code and it'll track through the promo code. But that requires some work to be done on their site with pixels and so on. And whenever you're on a medium to large size company, any work that gets done on the site isn't instantaneous. It usually gets queued up into development and somehow ends up on the bottom of the list for months and months. It's actually faster sometimes on the smaller advertisers because, you know, it's the guy who's driving that is the guy who owns the company, so he'll get it done or she'll get it done right away. But check to see exactly how these coupons work. So we have coupons that have actual tracking links. So this way you go to a particular landing page that services that coupon, and then it either automatically gets into the cart and so on, but the cookie gets dropped and your tracking link is ensured. We also do, and you know, this is a fast food thing, right? I'm going to give everybody 25% off this product. I'm going to give everybody 10% off this product. And it's meant to go ahead and be distributed to everyone, or just coupon sites, you know, or folks that just can utilize that. So look at how they manage it. Are they just sending coupons to coupon sites? Do you have to actually do something to get access? Or within the program, is it available? And does it say you must use this tracking link, or is it a simple promo code? And then moving to promo codes, again, mass is like $1 off a burger, right? You're sending them out on a value pack mailer or something to that nature. So that's your fast food experience. But the fine dining experience is vanity codes that you have worked out with the advertiser, a particular code that only is for you. And anyone that uses it, you're going to get attribution for it. We have a lot of publishers like that that work with us, and it's really kind of very efficient. Where it becomes an issue is attribution if, in fact, that promo code was picked up by a coupon site or some aggregator, and then the last click was attributed to a particular publisher, but the other publisher owns that coupon code. So look at the attribution settings for that, or the policy for that. We give it to the person that we offered the promo code to, and then we'll offer a vanity code to that other person to utilize for the next sale, if in fact that helps them convert. But that's important. You may think you have a sale that gets reversed, and then you're calling up and you're like, well, it's a promo code that was for someone else, and well, how does that work? You know, so those are things to really look at. Coupon commission. You could interrupt me anytime because it's so important.
I guess I would just say one thing on coupon suppression. Some networks actually will allow the affiliate manager to put a list of codes in that you will not get commission on.
Right.
So before you go around and copy all the codes you find on coupon sites or other places, you might want to check and make sure that they're authorized for affiliate use, or you could end up getting nothing.
Or authorized for every affiliate to use, because there really is a difference between that. You know, speaking from a network perspective, we can, within our system, say this code is only good for one person, or we can say it's good for all of the affiliates in general. So, you know, my best suggestion on that is go ahead and take a look within your interface on your network and see what's being offered to you. And don't just assume because you found that code someplace else that you can go ahead and share it on your site. And some of you, if you've got user-generated content where somebody is popping in there and just putting it in the in the comments section, hey, I found this great code and you'll get this money off, that may not necessarily work for you as that particular affiliate to still earn the commission, because that code could be assigned to somebody else. So you really want to be careful about just kind of grabbing those things in or permitting those to always be shared. There's some sites that, you know, pay whatever it is, we're just going to share it. That's okay. Just understand that if you do that, you really are in danger of not necessarily earning the commission on any sales that might result from there. And chances are pretty good that if there is a merchant that's already doing something along the coupon code line, that not only do they have something perhaps special for somebody who's big or has got something in particular going on, but they probably have codes that you're going to be able to use as well for whatever level you're at. So you're still going to be able to offer a deal to your readers. Maybe it's not the best deal out there, but it's still going to be good. And that, you know, often is also enough for them, because part of the reason why they're there and shopping through you is because they know you, they trust you, they believe you, that if you say this is the best, then they're going to buy it. And trying to switch to some other place to try and save another 10 cents, you know what, often isn't worth their time. If you say this is a great deal, click here, they do.
It's like reading the fine print on the menu, right? What's spicy, what's not, what is the star next to it. Yeah, I mean, coupon commissioning, I mean, as a merchant, I don't like discounting commissions dollar to dollar or any way, shape, or form. I think my commissions should be, my commissions and any coupons that I put out are for the benefit of conversions, and I benefit from the customer converting. But that's not everybody. So you really have to look to see, are they deducting the coupon amount from the actual payment of commission? That could be too. They may have their settings to be 100% of cart, and if the 100% of cart deducts the coupon, then you're getting commission based on the net, you know, less the coupon. So you really want to look at the fine print and understand exactly what the impact is of using coupons and how that advertiser or merchant, you know, basically sets up that process. Also with data feeds, the last piece of this, from a advertiser's perspective, it's a great thing because you put out these codes, and you know, obviously you want to put out codes that are available to everyone so we don't run into the attribution model issue. But you know, and then it gets filtered out, and if you're a subscriber of these data feeds, like for me to coupon for, you know, a little commercial for my friend Eric, you know, you go ahead and get these coupons and they're fresh and it's everything that's been posted, and you don't have to go searching through all these different advertiser links to see what's new. So it's definitely a benefit from your side, but you do need to go back and follow up and understand, going back to the coupon commissioning and attribution, exactly what the impact is of using it for a particular publisher. Sometimes we take things like, all right, well, I'm just going to post it, and then you get surprised at the end. That's kind of what we're trying to avoid here. So
what John was referring to is a company that's fmtc.co. And basically what they do is they work with all the networks, work with just about every single advertiser on all those networks. And on every 15 minutes, they go and pull every single offer that's available from all of the merchants that are participating with them. And then they can, in turn, help you to put that on your site. You will still need to individually apply to the merchant program and be approved by it within their respective networks. But then once you've gone through that process, then you can use them to pull the feeds. And, you know, they are powering huge companies. They keep it quiet on who it is. We know who it is. I can't necessarily say, but mega huge companies that you see, you know, and you might get emails from 17 times a day with offers. I'll let you fill in the blanks on that, you know, but as well, they've got, you know, smaller packages that are very affordable for even newbies to be able to use during the month. And even if you're only focusing on one topic, you know, if you've got a site that's really a niche site and you're only talking about, my favorite is beefsteak tomatoes. I saw a great site that was only about beefsteak tomatoes. Who knew you could do it? They found enough content to be able to write about it and had a nice audience that was very dedicated. They could use a service like fmtc.co to be able to pull only those offers that were going to apply to people who love to garden, especially beefsteak tomatoes. So anyway, that's an important tool to be able to use and can really make your site go up from there.
Mm-hmm.
Right? All right. So one of the other most important things for you to be aware of is how to use communications as you're building your site and trying to grow it.
And this will be like one of the last slides from the advertiser's perspective, because we move on to the other fine folks here. But from a communications perspective, again, you're looking at it, mass audience versus one-on-one. And emails are usually done on the one-on-one, right? So your top 20 customers you're going to keep in regular contact with. Publishers, keep in regular contact with. You want to go ahead and understand exactly what's going on with their program, give them information on what, net sales maybe versus gross, what their performance is, and keep in touch, and then understand how and what their needs are to optimize. But that's very time consuming, so you're not going to do that with your entire base. So the entire base gets more of the fast food approach, in the sense where you use newsletters to communicate. Certainly you'll hit a one-on-one kind of email exchange as a response to communication or newsletter communication. But you're trying to send out general topics, give information about the program, give information about any new commission plans, boosts or bonuses or incentives, new web pages, things like that. So like a fast food TV commercial, it's going to be very not specific, but very general to the entire audience, or to a vertical. You could have different newsletters go to different particular verticals, like a loyalty group, rewards group, the coupon group, so on and so forth. But ultimately, it's a mass production kind of scenario. And then there's press releases, and press releases are neither. They could be both. It's really more about company information, targeted information, or news for the particular company. And it's more like fine dining in a fast food kind of environment, because it's very specific one-on-one topics, but it's mass produced to the entire group.
One thing you might consider is a joint press release also. So you might, as a publisher, look to a particular advertiser where you've got a great fit and approach them about doing something together along these lines. Could be a good exposure for both of you, and create a really neat story that might get picked up by media outlets all over.
One other thing I wanted to jump in on is, when you get emails from a merchant, at least when it's a new merchant relationship, take the time to read them. I have some affiliates who are just like, oh, I never read anything that comes from any of my merchants, and they just dismiss it fast. Don't do that. The merchant took the time to send that to you. There's probably some good information in there. A lot of times we encourage, as a network, our merchants to let affiliates know in advance that there's going to be some special promotion coming up, that there's going to be some special deal or offer or discount, to try and give you warning so that you can have that already placed on your site and ready, that, on the 22nd, when that sale starts, click, that page goes live, and you're there to take advantage of it. So, do take the time. Some merchants just have it way automated, and they will just send a newsletter every week, and it seems like it's the same thing. You'll learn fast who those guys are. And then, if you don't open them, I totally understand, because the merchant isn't necessarily giving you the best thing, to help you grow your business. But as much as possible, at least at the beginning, start and see what it is. They may have new creative. You may have old creative on your site, and now they've got some hot sale that's on, and you're missing it. So please do take the time. Merchants are going to take a look at the open rates. The network takes a look at the open rates as well. So we always try and find out what can we do to try and optimize it, to encourage affiliates to go ahead and open that up. And you know what? If you're getting an email that's not fun or ever useful, it doesn't hurt to let the affiliate manager know that, or to let the network know that, and just say, guys, I want to make you aware of this. Because that kind of feedback really helps. This is a partnership arrangement. We don't see it as just, we are the advertiser, we are the network, and you are the affiliate. It's not an arm's length thing. This is a business of relationships. And the more that we work together, the more successful we all are. So, sorry, but I'm passionate about that. So,
yeah. I want to give feedback, because if you feel like you're being spammed, let us know, so that we can, as an advertiser, so that we can rearrange maybe our schedule, or give us feedback saying great information, so that we keep doing what we're doing.
It really matters. It really matters. So now, one other thing, let's start talking a little bit about technology. So, be mobile friendly. This is huge.
Over half of the smartphone users are now buying on their smartphones. And another thing that will impact your business, ad blockers. They're more common on desktops than on mobile. So you can think about mobile as a great new opportunity. So is your site mobile friendly? As in, can readers actually read it on their little screens? Does it resize? Does it adjust? And there's a great free tool to test it from Google, the Google Mobile Friendly Test. I've got the address on the screen there. It's definitely worth doing. Google also is threatening to do mobile testing first to decide if you should be in their index, which could impact your desktop search rankings as well. So definitely something to think about and to change if you're not mobile friendly. And one other thing that's really fascinating, the 3 billion smartphone users worldwide versus 2 billion on desktops. So that number alone, particularly if you have an international audience, something to think about for sure. Finally, this is an exciting thing that we're starting to see across several networks is cross-device tracking, and Jeannine's going to jump into that for our next tip, but make sure you've got both the bases covered, mobile and desktop. So yeah, just do that.
Right, because cross-device tracking is huge, and it's growing in popularity. Luckily, more and more networks are offering it now. AWIN started it a couple of years ago, and basically what it means is that we're able to track a transaction from one device to another and identify the user. There's no personally identifiable information, so we don't know that it's, John Smith of Tecumseh, Iowa. We know that it's user 142761. But we're able to follow them from their phone, perhaps where they started, onto their iPad or onto their tablet, onto the desktop, wherever it is that they complete the transaction. And the good part about that is that means that the right affiliate gets the commission for it. Mm-hmm. Because if they've started off on their phone, that's where your cookie dropped. So if there's not cross-device tracking involved, then we have no way of making sure that you ultimately get paid. And I will tell you, last year, AWIN alone spent, or paid, fortunately, we love doing it, well over $3 million in additional commissions to affiliates because of cross-device tracking. So, the good news about it is you don't have to do anything extra special as an affiliate to initiate cross-device tracking other than making sure that your presentation is good on all types of devices. So whether it's a phone, whether it's a tablet, whether it's a desktop, I mean, we all usually build towards desktop. Don't forget phone. It's really important to do it. So, what we found is that sales for individual merchants increased anywhere from 3 to 24% as a result of cross-device tracking. And a lot of smaller publishers, a lot of content publishers were actually among those who benefited the most. Because if you think about it, when somebody's out searching and starting to research a project or a product, they're going to go probably to a blog or something like that first and read about it. And then maybe later that day, they're going to go to, straight back to the merchant to try and buy it, or they might try, some other strategies to get back there. If that is already identified as your transaction, then you're going to get the benefit of it from cross-device tracking. So, just make sure that you are ready and prepared for it, because it's only going to make you more money, which I think that's why we're all here. One of the other things that's so important is to take full advantage of affiliate tools. So, John?
I guess there was one more from the advertiser's perspective. So affiliate tools are kind of neat because you have, it goes beyond what's in that particular campaign profile of the affiliate or the advertiser than just the links or just the basic information. So there's different tools that may be in there that you really can utilize. Some of them would be available in the program. Some of them are available by one-on-one conversations and discussions. But product feeds are a great example of something that are offered through the actual networks. If you want to isolate a particular product or a group of products from an advertiser and in some way make it your own and be able to deep link into the cart of the advertiser, you can do that with certain product feeds. Go ahead and sell through your site and have that experience straight through to the actual checkout on the advertiser. It's very efficient. It lowers the click amount and in most cases increases conversions. Where it can't be done is if you can't deep link into the cart for whatever reason because of the technology of the advertiser, or the advertiser wants you to have the customer hit one of their pages before they actually choose. Being in web hosting, it's really difficult for me to give specific deep links into carts because we have so many options. So, the likelihood of you selling, one of the 1,000 kind of server configurations we have and then deep link for that particular customer is a lot less likely for the customer to benefit than necessarily having like a product category, like a dedicated server or VPS, as opposed to specific, 1 gig VPS with so many, so that becomes a little too granular in my business. But if you're selling retail merchandise and the guy wants, the person wants a specific type of shoe, that's a different story. So utilize that where you can. Find the product feeds, find out exactly who's offering them, how they work, and see where you can automate, as best as possible. Widgets are another great tool. That's like taking a piece of the advertiser's website and putting it onto yours, and being able to give very specific and custom content on your particular website. An idea would be, in the travel industry, having a widget to be able to search for a hotel, as an example. If you're a travel website and you're not necessarily the booker, you're the agency, if you will, that's a great tool to be able to bring in a specific technology from a particular partner. Other widgets would, in the web hosting business, allow you, for example, to check a domain to see if it's available. And then if that domain's available, then you would deep link into the advertiser's or the web hosting advertiser's particular website to purchase. So widgets are really cool things, and they're something that, based on your business type and the way that you have your business set up, can really enhance the user experience of your shoppers. Another idea, and that's, that is your typical fast food, right? The widgets, because you're kind of sending out a general technology for everyone to use. Where it becomes more fine dining is something like custom landing pages. And I know I have the capability of duplicating my affiliate landing pages for specific publishers and putting their name on in a co-brand, or give them a custom promo code or some sort of splash or welcome message, for their shoppers. So, and that absolutely helps with conversion. It absolutely makes the user feel like it's very ubiquitous. It's a seamless transition somewhat between the publisher's site and the advertiser's site. And it's something that definitely you should look into. It may not be just a fine dining experience. It may be something that is extended to the greater masses when asked. So it's always good to ask if that's available. You start the conversation by a custom code, see how that does, and then kind of move into a custom landing page if it's available for that particular advertiser.
Okay. So now, one of the other things that is critical in technology is the use of WordPress and all the things that it offers.
Yes, John had mentioned widgets, and WordPress is a great tool to integrate some of these widgets. Let me mention, but probably some of you already are using WordPress. It's used by about 27% of the websites of the world. It's an open source, that means free, platform that's very easy to use, easy to set up, lots of web hosting options. Liquid Web, for instance, has a very good managed WordPress hosting, so easy to set up, and all the backups and staging environments, everything you need right there. Excuse me. But WordPress also, it can be fast food in that it's really basic and sleek, fast, quick experience, or you can take it and make it to a fine dining experience in the sense that you can change the look, the feel, the functions. It doesn't, originally it started as a blog platform. Well, now you can do about anything with it. So the way you do a lot of these anythings with it is with templates, and there's thousands of them available, free ones, premium ones. You can build your own tools to do your own. It's great. Plugins is another way that you can change it. Plugin is essentially something that you add to the basic WordPress system. It's, you can internally add it or you can upload it in there, but it's just a little bit of software code that's inserted into WordPress that changes or adds features. And there's more than 40,000 plugins available, many of which are free, and then there's some that are available for a small fee with great support from the authors of those plugins. Security enhancements, upgrades, all these are built into WordPress. It's I mentioned mobile friendly. Yeah, out of the box, mobile friendly. So now you can break the mobile friendly with plugins and things, but so keep testing it. But it's out of the box, mobile friendly, ready to go. And some of the largest sites in the world are powered on it. So WordPress is something you can start small when you don't have much budget. It's free, and then you can grow into being one of the largest sites in the world and still use it, so it scales with you. So I'm a huge fan of it, and if you want to talk some more about it later, lots and lots of tips and good affiliate tools for it.
He knows so much about WordPress, it's wicked scary, and he's wonderful about sharing it. So he's my go-to guy when I have WordPress questions, which sadly is all the time. But anyway. So one of the other things that that I wanted to talk about a little bit more now is kind of program management from our perspective, and to try and help you understand how to work best with the people that are managing the programs you're working with. So one of the things that John referred to, technical integration. We're supposed to do that first. I'll back up 1 second. Mike?
No problem. Another thing, like I mentioned, all the things you can add into WordPress. Well, you don't have there's some really great tools that you can do. You don't have to have WordPress, but sometimes it's easier with that. But most of the affiliate networks offer what's called an API. It's an automated system to move data back and forth. API, Application Programming Interface, just an acronym, but a standard way to move data back and forth. And then there's some great third-party tools. We already mentioned FMTC. There's another one called Data Feeder. It's spelled a little differently, so it's on the screen. But they can make data feed usage, which product catalogs essentially. They can make it really easy to use and to pull into your site. Another one that's not on the screen is Pop Shops. I think.
Make sure you spell it right.
Yes.
Oh my God. You're going to get really embarrassed if you spell it wrong.
POPSHOPS, popshops.com.
.com.
Yes.
Spell it right, seriously.
And like FMTC, Data Feeder, they have plugins to make it really easy for WordPress. So great system. If you wanted to pull in a data feed, a product catalog, and have your own shopping cart kind of experience, you can do that with WordPress and WooCommerce. It's a great tool to just integrate those things. You can build your own product comparison tool. Look like you've got your shopping cart, send them directly to the advertiser's site. Really, really easy. John had mentioned subnetworks. Here's two that are very quick and easy on any site. You don't have to be WordPress to use them. VigLink and Skimlinks, and they're great for testing. You can take just a regular URL, just a regular link to Amazon or anywhere, and they can convert it. If there's an affiliate program for it, they can convert it automatically. You don't have to do anything. You just put your regular link in your blog post or wherever, let VigLink or Skimlinks convert it for you, and then you get paid about 75% of the commission they earn. And here's a little tip: they're often on a higher tier than we would start out with anyway as a publisher. So sometimes you'll make more with VigLink or Skimlinks than you would going direct. And then if you start getting a lot of traction there using VigLink or Skimlinks or making money, you might want to go direct with that program and then work a special arrangement with the affiliate manager. But it's a great testing tool, good way to start.
All right. My turn now. So I wanted to talk a little bit about attribution. John mentioned it before, that the old stock way is to give the full commission to the last click, but that's not as common anymore. Now, companies are becoming much more familiar with the idea that multiple affiliates are involved along the way, so they're splitting up the commission. Whether this happens or not on a given program is actually decided by the advertiser, not by you. So there's only so much that you can do about that, other than you have the power of deciding which merchant it is that you want to work with. So you can see how things are working out for you on one, and maybe it seems like you're sending a lot of traffic, but you're never the last click. That might be a reason to switch to a different merchant. So, you do want to take a look at that. There are several approaches to attribution, and basically each network has developed their own method for it. Some of them give the advertiser the power to say, okay, we're going to give 20% to the first click, and 30% to the second click, and 50% to the last click, that sort of thing. At AWIN, we've offered a different option where we actually call it an influencer program. And so if we see that there's somebody who's sending a lot of visitors to the site, they're not always the last click, but they're involved in someone who ultimately buys, we find a way to pay them. So we encourage our merchants to do that as well. And one of the things that this can really benefit too is a lot of times affiliates are concerned that somebody was about to make the sale, and then at the last second they went off to a coupon site or they went to a loyalty site, grabbed that code, and the commission went there. One of the things that we've done at our network as a way to address that is something called soft click. So those kinds of big publishers are actually on the soft click methodology. If there's an existing AWIN cookie in place, they can't overwrite it. And so that's our way to try and protect, some of the smaller publishers or some of the publishers that are a little bit earlier in the funnel from getting overwritten by somebody who, in the last 20 seconds became the last click. So we'll do that. So anyway.
Yeah, that's a good question to ask the affiliate manager. A lot of networks have some capabilities to do that now. In-cart attribution is what Pepperjam calls it. Link Connector has a system, so several of them are able to do that now.
And Share a Sale, I know,
yes.
has a way to do it. Actually, almost all of their merchants have something in place to do that, to divide up the commission if there's more than one affiliate that's involved in the sale. One of the other things we wanted to talk about was site monetization. So always remember that there are several ways on your site to earn commissions, and it's not just having somebody click through a basic link. So some of the things that you can do are things like paid content or paid placements, sponsorships perhaps of a specific promotion or a specific section on your site. My brother has a site that has a lot of sports. He's got one person who sponsors all of the volleyball news for all the local high schools. Somebody else, sponsors all the football news, that sort of thing. The local gymnastics school sponsors the gymnastics section. And everybody here has probably got some area like that where that might work. So once you've got sufficient numbers to say that, don't do it when you're fresh out of the box, because otherwise it doesn't make sense. But once you started to build up some regular traffic that's demonstrated that it's good for that particular vertical, don't be afraid to talk to somebody about that. You can use things like SEO and social media to attract more diners to your place. And you can do things like SEM or PPC if it's acceptable to the advertiser. So you want to make sure whether or not that's allowed and follow whatever terms and conditions that they've got in place on that. Because otherwise you can, if you do something that's not allowed, get kicked out of the program and not get your commissions. Oh, sure. SEM is search engine marketing, and PPC is pay-per-click. So that would be where you're actually paying to have an ad to come to you to try and sell the product.
And Jeannine mentioned getting kicked out. Most of them, or many, when I manage a program, I'm generally monitoring those, looking for trademark bidding violations. So those are being monitored. It's a bad idea to try to
just
slide under the radar.
Right. So to give you a real-world example for Liquid Web, we don't allow a trademark bidding on Google as an example. So you can go ahead and bid for keywords like web hosting or managed web hosting or VPS and stuff like that, but you can't go ahead and bid on Liquid Web VPS. So you're bringing traffic to your site and then ultimately, going ahead and bringing them back. But where publishers sometimes try to end game it is saying, Liquid Web coupons. So that someone searches, for coupons on Liquid Web, it comes to their site, and then they get attribution for the sale. That's what we try to prevent. But that's exactly what we're kind of talking about.
One of the other things we wanted to talk about was expanding the affiliate channel. So you can also consider serving up things outside your site, sort of using a bigger lens approach to affiliate marketing. So this can involve things like, promoting the advertiser on search. As John was mentioning, make sure you follow the terms, because if you send an ad click straight to the publisher or straight to the merchant without going to your site first, that puts you in a different category. You need to make sure it's okay with them, or else you can get in trouble. You can also generate sales directly from social media like Facebook or Twitter, and well-crafted Pinterest pins. I've got a friend who's making $100 a week from one pin on Pinterest for a product that was on Etsy, and she said the pin took her about 10 minutes. Now, she's got a good loyal audience and she's got good active boards, but nevertheless you can all grow to that. It's all possible, so don't give up on it. And even Instagram can be monetized. There's several third-party offerings that can help you do that. One that I've seen is called Snapped, SNAPPPT.com. I hope I said it right. I can't promise. But it works out very well to be able to monetize things like Instagram. And the other thing that you can do when you're using that sort of social media is consider it almost like running something up the flagpole, where you can say, hey, let's see how this does on social media. If it performs well, then you can go ahead and take the time, for example, if you're a content publisher, to write a whole post about it. So it's those things. And then, Mike, you wanted to talk about, is it Oplytic?
Oplytic. App tracking. So some of the networks, I know Pepperjam has partnered with Oplytic, where you can actually go from your website through to a mobile app. and still get the tracking can be maintained as well. So if they finish the transaction on an app, so you might just check into that. Another thing, going back to the social media, if you have coupon code tracking, a lot of times you can't use an affiliate link directly in a social media ad or campaign, but with a coupon code tracking system, you could put that code in print, you can put it on social media, you can put it in the photo of a pen, and you still get credit for it in those cases if it's enabled. So that's an option for you as well.
One of the other things we wanted to talk about was reporting. Basically, every affiliate program, if it's on a network, or hopefully most in-house programs as well, have a variety of reports that you can pull. Now, the fast food kind of folks are the ones who are just looking at things like conversion statistics and timing. But if you really want to be a fine dining chef, then you start going into it a little bit deeper. So you're starting to go into things like EPC, earnings per click, average order value, finding out what the best sellers are. Try and employ tools like custom parameters, which are going to be able to help you identify which pages are performing the best or which products are selling the most, because that's going to give you more opportunities to identify and focus your attention on those areas where you want to be. And also, take a look and see which pages aren't performing well. See if there's a certain page that, for example, gosh, you had 27 people order this product and 22 of them returned it. So either it's not what they expected it to be, or they ultimately didn't like it. Maybe that's not a page that either you want to optimize it better or you want to get rid of it, because all it's doing is pulling down your overall value to the merchant. So there's a lot of ways that you can do that and kind of see which is going to be working out best for you. Take full advantage of those reports. And one of the things that I like to say about them is take a look at it and think, what if? So what if I did this to that? So spend some time kind of, percolating over the information that's being provided to you, because it's really, really valuable. One other big thing that I always try and emphasize with affiliates, Google Analytics was not designed for affiliate marketing. Okay? It's going to tell you what's happening on your site, who's coming in where they're going, what they're doing while they're there, where they exit to. Not necessarily to track for affiliate marketing. So if your Google Analytics isn't matching up with what your network is showing you, that's why. And it won't ever do that. Ever, ever, ever. So, just be aware of that and know that one is designed for one purpose and your network reporting is designed for another. John, shall we talk fast about partnerships?
Yeah, let's get this done so that we can get you your 17 before it ends. So strategic alliances versus reciprocal agreements. So this just to give you an overview on these particular topics. Strategic alliance would be that you've developed a relationship with an advertiser and you two have very close synergies, and what you're selling and what they're selling work together. So like a hamburger and a bun, right? What happens is it could be like in a web hosting business, it could be a plugin for a web host, for a web program or plan. So we decide as two companies to work together and offer it as a bundle, or offer that sale that I sell their product or they sell my product. Reciprocal agreements are similar but different in the sense that it's more of, and this is really something that you guys on the smaller side, not you guys not necessarily all smaller sides, but on the publisher side, you really can take advantage of in a sense. Advertisers don't like to do this, but they will. Reciprocal agreement would mean you put your banner ad on their site, they put, their banner ad on your site as an example, or you have text links, or in the content there's links to both sites. There may be value for traffic on both ways. You may have similar verticals, you may have similar traffic, but it may not be something that you're bundling together or products that work directly together. There may be enhancements or add-ons or something to that nature.
Okay. And the last thing, we actually are getting to tip number 17, is account management. So what I wanted to do is to help you understand kind of how each program is managed on their side. So in some cases, they're managing it themselves with an in-house program or with in-house staff. They may have hired an OPM to do it for them. They may have the network in place to manage it. But whoever the management team is, get to know them and take full advantage of picking their brains on stuff. They're going to be able to tell you who the best sellers are. They're going to be able to tell you if there's seasonal specials. They're going to be able to tell you if there's new products coming on the market. So this can really help you to focus your efforts on where to spend the most time and get the most benefit from it. So take full time to learn your management team. Okay, so there you go. A whole recipe box filled with tips and tricks to spice up what you're serving. I couldn't resist, sorry. We hope this has given you some ideas on ways to increase the flavor of your online presentation and make your site visitors keep coming back to savor their experience with you and more. So thank you, everyone, for doing this. Officially, the session's over. We've got time for questions, and we're happy to have you here. And you still got a little while before the next thing starts, so we're happy to do that, or else come on up and talk to us. Thank you, everyone, for giving us your time this morning.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. Thanks.